It's a universal epidemic, and it's increasing at an alarming rate. Today, more than a third of all Americans are either diabetic or pre-diabetic. If current trends continue, this will increase to half of all Americans by the year 2020. Diabetes and pre-diabetes significantly increase the risk of heart disease and many other devastating complications. But the good news is that current trends don't have to continue, especially not in your case. Type 2 diabetes is not only preventable, it's also reversible. Diabetes can be undone. I'm Dr. Wes Youngberg. For the past 25 years, I've worked with thousands of clients to reverse diabetes and other chronic health conditions. If there's one thing my career has taught me about diabetes, it's this: there's hope for change.
I reversed my diabetes.
I was able to reverse diabetes now for over a year.
I reversed diabetes.
I reversed my diabetes.
I want you to experience dramatic health improvements too. That's why I've condensed 25 years of clinical practice into this dynamic new program. Diabetes Undone offers 9 steps and 40 short videos that will empower you to optimize nutrition, exercise, and other powerful lifestyle strategies to reclaim your health. You'll learn how to fight high blood sugars by addressing their underlying causes. I've seen hundreds of clients experience remarkable health improvements by following the same wellness strategies you'll learn in this course. Many of them are no longer diabetic. This course can also help type 1 diabetics to control the condition and prevent complications. Even better, the same strategies that fight diabetes also effectively combat heart disease, obesity, cancer, autoimmune disease, and many other health conditions. This course isn't just about diabetes. It's about experiencing optimal wellness in every area of your life: body, mind, and spirit. I'm confident that the strategies you'll learn will make a lasting impact in your life. So let's get started. Today is the first day of your new health story. It was 1985, and I was sitting in a medical lecture by Dr. James Anderson, who is a leading expert in diabetes research and treatment. Dr. Anderson was discussing the dramatic changes his diabetic patients had experienced. He had taken hospitalized type 2 diabetic patients with poorly controlled blood sugars and simply changed their diet from the standard American diet to a diet high in fiber and plant-based foods. Within weeks, the patients experienced dramatic improvements. Their need for insulin and oral medications dropped anywhere from 75 to 90%. Many patients improved so much that they no longer fit the diagnostic criteria for diabetes. I could hardly believe my ears. I had always been taught that diabetes was incurable, that diabetics would struggle with the disease for the rest of their lives. But this respected physician and researcher was sharing case after case of patients who had reversed their type 2 diabetes completely. Sure, they needed to continue their healthy habits so the disease wouldn't return. But the point is that they didn't have diabetes anymore. That was the beginning of my diabetes paradigm shift. And after working with diabetics for the past 25 years, I'm more convinced than ever that this paradigm is true. By addressing the cause of illness, type 2 diabetics can experience dramatic health improvements, avoid complications, and possibly even reverse the condition. What a powerful paradigm! Our healthcare system is in desperate need of a paradigm shift. We live in the most advanced medical age in human history. We know more about healthcare than we've ever known before, and yet we're sicker than ever. Lifestyle-related diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, and obesity threaten to destroy our health and even cripple our economy. 26 million Americans have diabetes, and 79 million have pre-diabetes. Both these conditions significantly increase the risk of cardiovascular disease and other complications. At least 90% of these cases are type 2 diabetes, a condition that is preventable and often reversible. Healthy lifestyle habits, such as nutrition and exercise, can stop diabetes in its tracks. But wait a second. If type 2 diabetes can be improved so dramatically, why don't we hear about this more often? Or about this from our medical community? Why aren't diabetic patients taught the valuable information they need to transform their health? Unfortunately, the prevailing medical paradigm teaches that diabetes is a chronic, ongoing disease. Once you got it, you've got it. You can try to manage the disease to prevent complications, but the diagnosis will stay with you forever. Although this paradigm isn't evidence-based, it continues to pervade much of medical science and the medical community.
Now, I've been without diabetes for a year and a half, and there's no question about it. I've enjoyed better health. I've reversed the diabetes. I've lost weight. My cholesterol is, in fact, the last test I had, it was only 112. And I've been focusing on the good stuff. I mean, to see the results that I've been getting versus I have to do this and I have to do that and I have to do this other things. Instead of focusing on what you have to do, is focus on what results do you get and the benefits of it. Right after I eat breakfast, we're on our walk.
In this section, we'll look at 5 factors that combine to create the diabetes storm surge. These are insulin resistance, glycosylation, inflammation, high blood pressure, and atherosclerosis. The 5 factors that cause the diabetes storm do so by attacking the circulatory system. Let's examine those factors now. Insulin resistance. In the Diabetes 101 video, we learned how the body regulates blood sugars. The food you eat breaks down into sugar called glucose, which enters your bloodstream. Glucose is the body's primary fuel source. You can't live without it. But in order for the glucose to work, it needs to get inside your cells. The cell membrane won't allow glucose to enter by itself. It needs the help of insulin, a hormone produced by the pancreas. Insulin acts as a key to unlock the cell membrane, allowing the glucose to enter. Once the glucose enters the cells, the blood sugar goes down. But if the glucose can't get inside the cells, the blood sugar goes up. People with type 1 diabetes are unable to produce insulin, so they must take insulin injections in order to control their blood sugars. But the majority of those with type 2 diabetes and prediabetes produce plenty of insulin. In fact, many of them produce significantly more insulin than normal, yet their blood sugars are still high. What's the problem? Why can't the insulin unlock the cells to allow the glucose to enter? The problem is insulin resistance. The cells don't want to allow glucose in, so they make it very difficult for insulin to unlock them. These cells are fat and sassy. They have all the energy they need, and they don't want to accept any more glucose. Thank you very much. Because the glucose can't enter the cells, it builds up in the bloodstream, causing high blood sugar. There are many simple ways to reduce insulin resistance, and we'll explore them all throughout this course. Eating high-fiber foods, exercising after your meals, and getting enough sleep. Habits like these profoundly influence the way your body responds to insulin. It may sound simple, but it's true. After all, who says health has to be complicated?
In one study, 650 diabetics were placed on a high-fiber plant-based diet for just 2 weeks. They experienced major improvements in blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, and weight. But get this, 71% of the participants who were on oral diabetes medications were able to discontinue those drugs, and 39% of those on insulin were able to stop it completely. And this was in just 2 short weeks.
It's amazing how quickly people can experience such dramatic results.
Oh, it's true. And that's one of the really exciting things about working in this field. The body wants to heal itself, and it does so more quickly than most people would ever imagine. It really gets me excited.
In healthcare, just like in every other discipline, the best way to solve a problem is to address the root cause. I believe that the single most powerful thing you can do to improve your health is to learn to trace from cause to effect. Once you understand how your daily health choices either promote or prevent disease, you will have the tools you need to take charge of your health. The solution for type 2 diabetes and prediabetes isn't found in a magic bottle or capsule. Sure, medications can help and are sometimes very important, but a true and lasting cure can only come from addressing the cause. Perhaps that's why there's so much confusion as to whether or not there's a cure for type 2 diabetes. In previous videos, you've heard the stories of people who have been able to reverse this condition by making simple lifestyle changes. These people now maintain normal blood sugars without the need of insulin or oral diabetes medications. They no longer fit the diagnostic criteria for diabetes. A person who has type 2 diabetes or prediabetes needs to be extra careful to take care of their health so that the blood sugar problems don't return. But although the risk of relapse is always there, a full recovery is completely possible. After meal exercise is powerful. It improves blood sugars, lowers triglycerides, helps control weight, aids in digestion, and prevents the awful feeling of food coma. After meal exercise is a valuable tool for battling diabetes and optimizing wellness. So why not start today? Brenda, can you tell us more about green light foods?
Absolutely. Green light foods are unprocessed or minimally processed whole plant foods. They are the richest sources of many protective nutrients that heal the body in more ways than we can count. When you have diabetes or prediabetes, your body is like a house on fire. What you put into your mouth can serve as gasoline or water. Green light foods are like water on the fire, fighting the flames and restoring balance.
We've talked a lot about nutrition theory, but now it's time to make it practical. Transitioning to a green light diet can be overwhelming. If you're like most people, you're a creature of habit. You're already used to buying, preparing, and eating certain types of foods. If you want to improve your diet but don't know where to start, keep listening. In this film, Brenda will share some practical tips for purchasing, preparing, and enjoying healthy food.
If you're not much of a cook, don't despair. Healthy eating doesn't have to take a lot of preparation. It doesn't take long to make a veggie sandwich on whole grain bread with avocado, hummus, or veggie meat, to toss a salad, or to make a veggie burrito. Stock up on fresh fruits and veggies for healthy sides.
I've had many clients come to me with the goal of getting off their medications. This can be a good goal, but I think it should be refocused. I'd rather that a client tell me, I want to improve my health so much that I can decrease or even eliminate my need for medication. Like Lisa, most type 2 diabetics have the potential to improve their health so much that they no longer need medications at all. Diabetics like Sister Mary may need to take insulin, but good lifestyle habits will improve their health and decrease the amount of insulin that they need. When the focus is on improving health, everyone wins. But let's take a closer look at diabetes medications. How do they impact the body? And what are the advantages of decreasing meds or discontinuing them when possible? I have clients who exercise regularly and maintain healthy weights, but still have blood sugar problems. I also have overweight clients who don't exercise, but still have optimal blood sugars. How can we make sense of this? Diabetes can be mysterious. Many people with diabetes have disease-causing factors they aren't even aware of. In this section, I'll explain how to identify and address these hidden factors. Ignorance is not bliss, at least not in the long run. True health and happiness come from accepting reality and making choices to improve it. Sometimes people refuse to have their health testing done because they don't want to know what's wrong. This may help explain why almost 40% of diabetes cases and many more pre-diabetes cases are undiagnosed. But by taking advantage of blood sugar testing, it's possible to identify the problem and change it. Prediabetes can be diagnosed by fasting glucose between 100 and 125. Remember, prediabetes alone significantly increases risk of heart disease. If you have prediabetes, it's time to take action. I'll always remember how Nancy explained it to us. She said, I was excited when my cholesterol and my blood sugars came down, but I can tell that resolving this issue has improved my health and sense of well-being more than any other aspect of this program. Nancy's story illustrates a very important health principle. Forgiveness is an essential component of a healthy lifestyle. Resentment is similar to an autoimmune disease. When someone hurts us, our natural response is to harbor bitterness and ill feelings towards them. For some reason, we feel like this will help us make the situation better. But over time, the anger starts to eat away at us. It often harms us more than anyone else. A study entitled Religious Involvement in U.S. Adult Mortality found that people who frequently attend religious services live over 7 years longer than those who never attend. To put this into perspective, the health benefits of regularly attending religious services is comparable to not smoking. C.S. Lewis puts it this way: if I find in myself a desire which no experience in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that I was made for another world. I believe there is incredible healing potential in being connected to a loving God in a spiritual community. The course has come to an end, but your health journey has just begun. My hope and prayer is that the information you've learned will be a big blessing to you. I want to leave you with the same wish that the Apostle John left with his friends when he said, "Beloved, I wish above all things that you will prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers."